Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at a story that, well, it really challenges how we think about human endurance, about happiness itself. We're asking a question that feels almost, well, impossible.
Yeah.
How does someone who went through the absolute worst unimaginable horrors, who stared pure evil in the face,
Yeah.
how does that person end up calling himself the happiest man on earth?
It sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? A real paradox.
Yeah.
But it's such a powerful testament to, I suppose, the human spirit, what it's capable of.
Absolutely. And our main source for this deep dive is an incredible memoir, The Happiest Man on Earth by Eddie Jaku.
Ah.
His life story, it takes us right through the Holocaust, the darkest times, but somehow emerges with this just astonishing view on survival
Yeah.
and even joy.
And to kind of add another layer, we're also pulling some insights from a reflective script. It's called Kushika Jivan, which basically translates to a joyful life.
Oh.
And that script really focuses on 4 key things: gratitude, resilience, kindness, and hope. So our mission today really is to use Eddie Jaku's amazing journey to explore those themes.
Right. To see how happiness can actually be a choice, a deliberate thing, even after experiencing, well, the absolute worst humanity can offer.
Exactly. So where do we start with the foundations?
Yeah, let's unpack this incredible life, starting right at the beginning. Let's talk about gratitude.
Mhm.
Eddie, born Abraham Solomon Akabovich in 1920, grew up in Leipzig, Germany. And by his account, his early years were pretty comfortable. He had a big, loving family. His father, Isidor, mother, Lena, his younger sister, Johanna. We call her Hani.
And Leipzig back then, it wasn't just any city. It was apparently a real hub for arts, for culture. Jewish people had been a core part of the city for centuries.
Yeah, he mentioned something interesting, like the main market day was Friday, not Saturday.
Right, specifically to accommodate Jewish merchants observing the Sabbath. That tells you something about the integration, doesn't it?
It does. Eddie felt genuinely proud to be German. He believed it was, and this is his quote, the most enlightened, cultured, sophisticated society in the world.
Wow. That makes what happened later even more jarring.
Totally. And his father, Isidor, seems key here. He taught Eddie this principle. There is more pleasure in giving than in taking. He even gives this example, like they baked extra challah bread every Friday
Oh, yeah.
to share with Jewish families who needed it at the synagogue. His dad kept saying, friends, family, kindness are far more precious than money. A man is worth more than his bank account.
You know, connecting this back to that joyful life script, it talks about gratitude as a way of seeing life, noticing the small things.
Like the warmth of sunlight or laughter.
Exactly, transforming what we have into enough. And Eddie's father seems to have instilled that right from the start, focusing on non-material wealth, on connection.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit.
Yeah.
How did those early lessons, this focus on giving, on people over things,
Yeah.
how did that maybe set him up for what was coming when everything material was stripped away?
Well, I think what's fascinating here is gratitude, in Eddie's context, wasn't just feeling thankful when things were good. It was like a deeply embedded value system.
Like a moral compass.
Sort of, yeah. Focused on human connection, on generosity, and those qualities, they became absolutely essential later for holding on to his humanity when everything was designed to take it away. It wasn't passive. It was almost like a shield.
A shield built from kindness and connection. That's powerful, especially considering how intensely those values would be tested. Which brings us straight to the second theme, resilience. Because Eddie's comfortable life just shattered. He got expelled from high school simply for being Jewish.
Can you imagine? Just kicked out.
And his father, desperate for him to get an education, came up with this plan. He sent Eddie away to study mechanical engineering in a town called Tuttlingen.
But under a false name.
Yeah, under false papers, as Walter's life.
Wow. How old was he?
He lived this secret life from age 13 to 18, constantly terrified of being found out.
The loneliness, the fear. That's an incredible burden for a teenager. It must have been, I don't know, a kind of forge shaping that inner strength you mentioned.
It had to be. And that strength faced the ultimate test on Kristallnacht, November 9th, 1938.
The night of broken glass.
He went home,
Oh.
or tried to. His family was gone, their house destroyed. His dog, Lulu, killed by a Nazi. He was brutally beaten. He said he lost his dignity, freedom, and faith in humanity right there.
Just ripped away. And then Buchenwald.
Straight to Buchenwald.
Yeah.
Filth, random beatings. He even saw Nazis shooting prisoners in the back, claiming they were escaping. Just horrific.
And the journey to Auschwitz, wasn't that also harrowing?
Unbelievably so. Packed into a train car, 150 people. His father apparently saved lives by rationing water with little cup and bits of paper.
Resourcefulness even then.
In Auschwitz itself,
Yeah.
the washroom endurance test, 148 men crammed in a tiny space for 3 days and nights.
3 days.
Yeah. 18 people died. Eddie just clung to his number, his nails digging into his palm. But his resilience, it wasn't just putting up with it. He fought back in small ways.
How so?
Stood up to a work crew in a mine. He even confronted an SS soldier, asked him, "Have you got a soul?"
That takes unbelievable courage. Or desperation, maybe.
Maybe both.
Yeah.
And he tried to escape.
Oh.
Repeatedly.
From Auschwitz?
Well, from the IG Farben factory nearby, which used Auschwitz prisoners. He tried escaping in a barrel.
In a barrel, seriously?
Seriously. He got shot during the attempt. But then, incredibly, he snuck back into Auschwitz.
Back in. Why on earth?
Because being an escaped prisoner on the loose was apparently an even faster death sentence.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes a terrible kind of sense.
And while he was recovering from the gunshot, another prisoner, a Dr. Kinderman, removed the bullet, used an ivory letter opener and saliva as disinfectant,
Oh my God.
and told him 1 hour of rest is 2 days of survival.
Vital advice.
Then came the death march from Auschwitz. Minus 20 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
He survived by making a sort of communal blanket out of uniforms with other prisoners.
Just clinging to life together.
And when liberation finally came, an American tank found him. He weighed 28 kilograms,
28. That's barely anything.
and he had cholera and typhoid.
It's almost impossible to comprehend surviving that. So, tying this back, the Kushi Kerjuvan script talks about resilience as the strength to stand back up, the courage to keep moving forward even if your steps are small and shaky.
That sounds exactly like Eddie.
Right. And that line, every scar tells a story not of weakness, but of survival. It feels like Eddie's entire being became that story. But it wasn't just grim endurance, was it?
No, it seems more active than that. Like you said, defiance, ingenuity.
Yeah, that's what's so interesting. Resilience for him seems fundamentally about refusing to be dehumanized. It was an active choice to keep his dignity, find ways to preserve life, his life, and others. It shows that inner strength, that spirit, can be just as vital as physical strength, maybe more so.
Which makes you wonder, how does kindness even survive in such a brutal environment? Yet, that's our third pillar. Kindness and its multiplier effect.
It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? But his story is full of these moments.
Like the Gentile neighbor who protected the synagogue early on. Or Helmut Hoyer, an old acquaintance.
The one with SS connections?
Yeah, who used those connections to get Eddie a slightly safer job in Buchenwald, basically saving his life. These weren't small things.
No, they were huge risks. Life and death risks.
And after he escaped the train to Auschwitz, that long walk he did, French villagers helped him.
Even though they were struggling themselves under occupation.
Exactly. Shared food, hit him. Then there was a Mrs. Cornard in Brussels who helped his family by selling things on the black market for food.
These little pockets of humanity.
And inside his own family, too. His mother, while they were hiding in an attic, took in 3 orphaned Jewish kids.
Wow, into an already crowded, dangerous space.
And his friend in Auschwitz, Kurt Hirschfeld. Sharing a scarf, finding food, just being there for each other. Eddie said, "One good friend is my whole world."
That really hits home, the power of just one connection.
There was also a factory foreman, Goa, an old friend of Eddie's dad, who secretly left food for him.
Another risk.
And that civilian worker, Kraus, who tried to help him with the barrel escape from IG Farben.
Even failed attempts at kindness matter.
Absolutely. And then after the war, Eddie didn't just, move on. He and his wife Flor took in 3 young Jewish women, survivors struggling badly.
He lived that philosophy his father taught him.
Completely. His view was clear. The fortunate have a duty to help those suffering. It's better to give than receive.
So what does this tell us? In this environment designed to break every human bond, these acts of kindness, given and received, they seem like the real currency, the thing that kept hope alive.
Yeah, and that Joyful Life script says when you show kindness, you are not just helping them, you are healing yourself. And joy comes back multiplied.
It raises this really important point, doesn't it? About how kindness, even in the absolute worst places, affirms your shared humanity. It's not just about the physical aid, it's the recognition. Someone sees you. Someone cares enough to take a risk. That psychological impact must have been immense.
Immense. And it clearly shaped his entire life afterwards. Which brings us to the final theme. Hope. The fuel for the spirit.
After everything he'd endured.
Right. Lying in that German hospital, 28 kilos, sick with cholera and typhoid, He makes a promise to God
What was the promise?
that if he lived, he'd become an entirely new person. He'd dedicate his life to putting right the hurt and living every day to the fullest.
That's an incredible commitment to make from such a low point.
And he truly believed, he said, if you have a good morale, if you can hang on to hope, your body can do miraculous things.
And for him, it seemed to. He called finding his friend Kurt alive a miracle.
And then finding his sister Hani also alive.
Unbelievable reunions.
Then he met Flor Molo, another survivor who'd hidden. They married. And fatherhood, that seems to have been the turning point for his happiness.
Really?
Yeah, holding his first son, Michael, he said his heart was healed and my happiness returned in abundance. Right then, he promised himself to be happy, polite, helpful, and kind. And crucially, to smile.
Wow. To choose to smile.
And he built that life, moved to Australia with Flor, built businesses, a service station, real estate, a family.
It's a normal life after all that.
But also a life with purpose. He started sharing his story, became a speaker at the Sydney Jewish Museum, got the Order of Australia Medal. His message wasn't about his pain.
What was it then?
It was about his hope. He literally said, what I share is my hope. He even called being happy his ultimate revenge against Hitler.
To be the happiest man on earth, that's some revenge.
It really is. But how? How do you transform that level of loss, that trauma, into such a powerful, positive force, not just for yourself, but for everyone else?
I think what's fascinating here is hope for Eddie wasn't just a passive wish. It wasn't just, I hope things get better. It was active. It was a commitment, almost a moral duty he felt.
Like a promise he had to keep.
Exactly. It became the driving force for his entire post-war life. That Kuchika Jivan script talks about hope as believing tomorrow will be better, this pain will pass, the sun always rises. Eddie didn't just believe it, he lived it. He embodied it. It shows that deep link between what you decide inside, your conviction, and the impact you have on the world outside.
It's an incredible demonstration of that connection.
That the human spirit needs hope to run, just like a machine needs fuel.
So, wrapping this up, Eddie Jaku's life, it just shines this intense light on gratitude, resilience, kindness, hope. These aren't just nice ideas, are they?
No, not at all. They're choices. Real, tangible choices that can literally shape your life, even when things seem impossibly dark.
And these lessons, they feel universal. It's not just for people who've survived extreme trauma, right? It's for all of us in our everyday lives.
Absolutely. The question for you, listening, is how can you maybe apply these ideas? Even in small ways. How can you choose gratitude, build resilience, practice kindness, hold on to hope in your own life?
Eddie Jaku had this beautiful metaphor. He said, a flower is not just a flower, it is the start of a whole garden.
That's lovely.
So maybe the thought to leave you with is this. What kind of garden are you going to grow? Starting today, what will you nurture with gratitude, resilience, kindness, and hope?